Okay, welcome to our second episode of Soccer Talk. I'm Coach Deaton.
Coach Kamei.
And we are excited for this show. I hope you enjoyed our first episode. We've got some good stuff to talk about.
And we got some great feedback from the people who watch your show. I guess they really enjoyed it, so that's why we're back. We're ready for the next show. So we're on episode 2 now, right?
Perfect.
Okay, so Coach Deaton, first topic of the day. What do you think are Man U's chances in the FA Cup final against Chelsea?
I would have to say it depends on who shows up. Obviously, Man U can beat them. They beat them before this season already. They've beaten the top 6 teams, every single one of them this year. So we know Mourinho can set it up for them to win. But is the right team going to show up, or is the wrong team going to show up? And that's what we've been dealing with as Man U fans all year. We see this team on paper and we're like, this team should be dominating, but they're not putting it together.
And I can see what you're talking about because it's the same team showing up, but they're playing a completely different game than the previous game or the game before or something like that. So
yeah, and with Mourinho's style of constant defense, in when I was coaching girls, it was always stressing defense wins championships.
Right.
But with the boys or men, it seems like you really have to score more goals to win. So your defense could be suspect.
Right.
As long as you're scoring more goals,
Right.
obviously you're going to win the game.
Well, and I always had that philosophy that you build a team from the back to the front, right? Your defense. But you can't just say the defense is going to win it all.
Right.
You need to have your offense because you can't score. Right now, if you talk about the Euro Cup, we know Atletico won that cup, but they're a team that they're not an offensive team. They don't score a lot. Once they get their goals, they look at the score in the for the finals, 1-0. So you want a team that will be scoring all the time.
Right, that's a constant attacking, which is
Right.
what Man U used to do.
Exactly.
And if you look at our last 3 games, in 3 games we scored 1 goal.
Exactly.
And now Lukaku has been hurt, and he's supposed to be fit for this game, so that could make a difference. But it shows Rashford, Martial, Mata, Lingard. It shows, these guys, even Sanchez, they have to perform.
Yeah.
They can't just all depend on Lukaku to not only set him up, but also score goals.
Right. Or have Pogba do everything for everybody
Right.
else and then just wait for the pass.
Exactly.
He's not going to be able to do it all by himself.
Right.
Chelsea, they're going to know on the mark, and they're going to put someone on Pogba. They're going to put someone on Lukaku. So
Yeah, and even though they bombed their last game of the season, 3-0,
Yeah.
they lost to Newcastle.
Right.
There's still no telling what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Conte's job is,
Right.
pretty much up in the air.
Right.
If he wins this, probably going to stay another year.
Right.
So obviously they're going to try to win it.
Right.
And I know some of you Man U fans are probably not going to like this, but I honestly think this game's more important for Chelsea to win than it is for Man U to win.
exactly.
Because it happened.
I was going to say, Chelsea, they're not happy on how they finished on the table.
Right.
They wanted to finish in order to make the champions, and if they know that they have to win this if they want to go to
least
the
have
champions, or have something for the year.
Right.
It's kind of like Real Madrid. They haven't won anything this year,
Right.
and so they're in the finals of.
Which is what we're talking about next. We've got our Champions League ball here, and we're going to give our predictions for our Champions League final. So who do you think, Liverpool or Real Madrid?
It's tough. To me, it's probably going to be a really tough Champions League. Real Madrid has the advantage because they've been there longer lately,
Right.
and they've won it.
Right.
Liverpool, they have that drive going with them, for themselves. Salah having that record, getting the boot. But you saw what happened on that last game. I don't know if you watched the last Liverpool game, but they put someone on Salah, and once they mark him, it's kind of like, okay, if you can't depend on him because everybody's marking him, who's your next guy that's going to step up? Coutinho's no longer there.
Sonny has to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Firmino has to step up too.
Yeah.
Or else, they're going to be in trouble because Real Madrid is going to come out with all guns. You know, Real Madrid is the only cup that they have a chance to win this year. You know, they didn't win league this year. They didn't go to Copa del Rey. They didn't win that one. So Champions is the only thing they have on the cup for. And I'm thinking, you know, a lot of fans are thinking too that Zidane, if he doesn't win a cup here, this could be it for him with Real.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
never
don't
know.
I wouldn't get rid of him.
Exactly.
But
that's
yeah.
what people say. Hey, you
Yeah.
know, it's Real Madrid. It's a top team or one of the top teams in Spain, and they're gonna win. I mean, they're gonna
Something.
want somebody, you know,
Yeah.
something. They say, okay, give us at least the Champions League.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and Liverpool knocking off Man City 5-1 on aggregate.
Exactly.
I mean, Man City is 100 goals this year. And
Exactly.
for them to knock them off 5-1 and
Right.
aggregate is a huge deal.
Yeah, and you also got to remember that Man City could have had that season of undefeated season, except who
Yeah.
stopped them? Liverpool.
Liverpool
Exactly.
took that Champions League.
Right. So if we look at how they got to the final, you know, Liverpool in the quarterfinals had to beat Man City,
Right.
and they beat it in aggregate 5-1. So that's the other defeat that Man City suffered with Liverpool too.
Yeah.
In the Champions and in
And
the
in the league, yeah.
Right, so that's the advantage that Liverpool has going into this final. Real Madrid, they beat Juventus, but and if you look at the aggregate score, it was only by 1 goal, 4-3.
Right.
So they didn't have an easy game either in the quarterfinals. Juventus, you know, top team in Italy right now.
Well, and now Real Madrid semifinal was only by 1 too, right?
Exactly. Real Madrid now, they played Bayern, which
Yeah.
was the other favorite, you know, the German
That's who I was
champs.
pulling for.
Exactly. We're hoping, even though we normally don't pull for teams
From the Bundesliga.
right? We thought that Bayern, especially having James Rodriguez, you know, playing against his old team, and he actually scored against them, but he wasn't enough to make it
Right.
to the finals.
Right.
So Real Madrid won that one 4-3 in aggregate. So, you know, it was 1 goal, but if you look at Liverpool, they did the same thing in a sense.
Right.
Roma wasn't going to go easy. I mean, they were down, they came back. It was, if you look at the aggregate score, 7-6.
Yeah.
You know, they had that one game with it. I mean,
They were
4
dominated.
yeah, exactly. They were up by 4 goals, right?
I think it was
4 goals?
5-0.
Five,
and
yeah.
then then Roma scored 2 goals. So
Exactly.
it made it more challenging.
Exactly. And so they didn't have it easy either. So this is why it's tough to see who's going to win this Champions League final.
Yeah. So who are you picking?
I'm still picking Liverpool. I think they're going to be the surprise for the champions. I think they have that drive. They want it really bad. Salah, he knows that this is leading into the World Cup, so he wants to have something else to show other than just, you know, the scoring records. He wants something else. And you can tell, you know, the chemistry is, the team is looking together. They want to be there. They want to make sure that they get at least 1 cup coming. So.
And
yeah,
for
give
me,
it
I have to go with. I can't go with Liverpool as a Man U fan. Even though it would look better for our league,
Right.
I just can't do that. So I've got to go with Real Madrid.
And I know some of the fans are going to say, well, you're a Barca fan, so of course they're going to think, oh, you're not choosing Real because of that.
Right.
But, you know, Real Madrid is not doing well right now.
No.
They're not. I mean, they did make it to this finals, but you
By the
look
skin
at
of
how
their
they
teeth.
finished on La Liga,
Yeah.
they didn't even finish second, you know.
Yeah.
Atletico ended up playing second, and Atletico just won the Euro Cup. So
Yeah.
this is all they have. So in that case, I could see Real Madrid fighting for it and trying to win something for Zidane, or, you know, at least have something to show for the year, because they don't have anything.
And like you
You know?
said, they've been there before.
Exactly.
So that's our Champions League. So now we're going to talk about,
The World Cup.
and there's 29 days left until the World Cup starts. So we're going to cover some players that are injured or just out due to not being picked for their squads. So first off, what do you think of Aguero not being fit for Argentina? Is that going to affect their
You know,
scoring?
and that's actually, it's going to be a big deal now, because we saw what happened at the last World Cup. You know, if you depend on Messi to do everything, you're not going to get the result.
Yeah.
You know, Messi's probably you could consider him the best player in the world, or one of the best right now, but you can't expect him to do everything. I mean, because at Barca, he has all that talent with him. He's not just him. You know, he's got Paulinho, he's got Coutinho, he's got Iniesta,
Suarez.
great players. So they're all surrounding him. Argentina is a different story. You know, they are great players, but they don't play together like they do with Barca. They don't play every other weekend.
Right.
So this is going to be hard for them. So Aguero is going to be a big loss if he's not fit for this game. You know, because
He's
we
not.
saw what happened. Yeah.
He's not.
Right, he's not
fit,
going,
and
actually.
he's not
He's
even in the 35
In the 30,
man
exactly.
squad. So he's
Yeah.
done.
And you know what happened at the last World Cup when Di Maria got injured at the semis?
Mhm.
He didn't play the finals, and that was the result of Germany just taking over.
Which was surprising.
Right.
He didn't play.
Exactly, because you know you don't have Aguero now. If you must have Di Maria in the squad. You know, some people were saying, well, what about Tevez? Well, we know Tevez wasn't even in
Yeah.
the last World Cup, so it's going to be tough for Argentina. And I know Messi wants to do good. It's his last World Cup. You know, we're talking about age-wise players that you know may not be there anymore. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
one of
who
them.
knows? I mean,
And-
and they're in a group where Nigeria and Iceland and Croatia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Croatia we know is good.
Right.
But Iceland surprises people. Nigeria could surprise
And what they
people.
did in the qualifying.
Yeah.
And the Euros,
Yeah.
you know. And Nigeria, you know, the African teams, they wear you out.
Yeah.
You have to
They're
be
runners.
physical the entire game.
Entire game.
Because they'll wear you out. So it's going to be tough for them.
Right.
So not having Aguero is going to be a big deal.
Okay.
So now let's go to Belgium.
Ugh. Lukaku and Fellaini both aren't quite fit. Now Lukaku is supposed to be fit for our game against Chelsea. If he comes through that healthy, hopefully he'll be fit and then. And Belgium's a great squad.
Yeah.
But if these two guys can't play, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think.
And we saw what Fellaini did last World Cup.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he may not be a starter right now at Man U, but he's their starter in
Yeah.
Belgium. So-
I call him lampshade.
Yeah.
Because he's got that hair. But I do think in a World Cup squad, I
Yeah.
think for his country, he's an
Yeah.
asset to that. And obviously Lukaku, the way that he played the last couple of years is going
Yeah.
to be a big deal. So now Germany, we have quite a bit on
Three
Germany.
players.
What do you think if Boateng is not fit for Germany? How's that going to affect their D?
You know, the one thing I do know about Germany, it's that they can replace players
Yeah.
in a heartbeat because, I know, that's Germany. They just have talent everywhere.
Yeah.
The thing is, this German team is very young, so they're gonna have to step up. Losing these players, Boateng, it's a big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a big job whoever
If-
steps up,
If he's not fit.
if he's not fit for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Neuer,
Godsey, Neuer,
their goalkeeper, if he's not fit,
yeah,
I mean,
they depend on the goalkeeper a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw last World Cup, practically, their goalkeeper saved them in the finals,
Yeah.
pretty much.
yeah.
So having a good goalkeeper, and that's the one thing though, Germany usually has good backups.
Right.
So I'm hoping that if he's not fit, that the other guys are going to be able to step up.
Now, they left Mario Götze, and I'm not perfect on the pronunciation, but they left him off, and last World Cup, he scored the winning goal
Exactly.
in the final.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, are they thinking age-wise, or is this why? Because if you have somebody who scored that, he knew how important he was to score against Argentina in the
Right.
finals,
Right,
and he comes in off the bench, just seconds,
right.
comes in and scores that winning goal.
Well, according to their manager, he just didn't have a good year.
Exactly.
But,
Which could happen.
right, but if you don't have a good year with your club, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not gonna perform at a World Cup.
Exactly.
So-
Sometimes that's the opposite.
Right.
Because what I see players who may not have a good year in their club and they go to the World Cup and have a great year,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and you
Because
never know.
it happens the other way around. Look at what happened with James in Colombia. Became the top scorer for the World Cup, had the most goals, and yet when he went to Real Madrid, which was his dream team to play for, he hardly got any playing time. So now he went to Germany and played for Bayern.
Now, Brazil,
Okay.
Dani Alves is gone.
Right.
And he's a big. What do you think? I mean, he obviously is a big asset, not just the amount of experience he has, but as a defender.
It's a defender that even though people say, oh, he's getting old, if you see him what he's doing in his club team, he's still playing like he did when he was in Barca.
Yeah.
He's still going up and down those wings. He's still trying to score. If he's not, he's going to giving you those crosses. it's a big loss if he's not there for them. Because, you know, it's not just the experience
Right.
of being there, but just how he plays and what he does for Brazil.
Right.
It's a big loss if you don't have them.
And I think that his ability in the locker room,
Right.
you know, with that experience, is
Right.
going to affect a star like Neymar,
Exactly.
who we know is a star. Everybody knows he's a star, but I read something that he's scared and nervous about how fit he may be.
Right. And is he ready to take over the team?
Yeah, who knows?
Because it's his team now. It's going to be his team, and you know, the squad that he's responsible for. It's a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
You know, you have William from Chelsea. You have Gabriel Jesus from Man
Yeah.
City.
Firmino.
Firmino.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of players that are good players, great players, but they're young, so they're going to need a leader. So
It's going to be interesting to see what that's, you know, not having Danny, how that's going to affect them
Yeah.
in behind the scenes.
right, and all the other stuff that goes behind the scene of, you know, rumors of him going to Real. You know, that's already all over the media. Is he going to sign with Real Madrid?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so all these different things that are going through his mind. You have to concentrate on the World Cup right now. You have to put all that aside right now.
Yeah.
And I understand that, you know, a lot of players use the World Cup to get into a better club or get, you know, more money or a better contract. But at the same time, you have to concentrate on that task at hand.
Well, now this, France, they're losing your Arsenal
Yeah.
player. So how do you feel about this?
Well, you know, France is a team that I like this year for the World Cup.
Yeah, they're talented.
They're very talented. They're young.
Mhm.
So it's going to hurt him not being there, but I think they still have the players. I think they still have the team. And I'm sure because it's such a young team that anybody can step up now and take over a spot. So it's going to be a loss, but I still believe that they're still going to have enough talent there to fill that position.
And he
with
has
him-
a lot of experience.
Yes, he does. You know,
Uh,
he was there last World Cup,
Yeah.
and he's played, you know, with Arsenal for so long.
Now, how they actually pronounce his name?
You know what? Different people say different things, so I don't know. I go by Arsens. He says Koscielny.
Koscielny.
Yeah, so
Koscielny.
it depends on who you're talking to,
Yeah.
and who's talking. So you know, it all depends.
So now the team that I'm rooting for is England,
England.
and they have not taken Wilshere and Hart. Now, Hart, from the goalkeeper standpoint, okay, I mean, I don't think that's a huge loss, although I don't know these guys.
Right.
But Jordan Pickford, Jack Butland, Nick Pope, never even heard of these guys.
Mhm.
So I have no clue how well they're going to be able to step into that role. But Wilshere, as you know,
Mhm.
from being an Arsenal player, that's a huge loss, isn't it?
You know, but you know what's funny? He's a Wilshere. He's an Arsenal player.
Yeah.
But to me, I think Hart may be a bigger loss, only because I like Hart.
Oh, okay.
Hart has been one of my favorite keepers in England. I mean, if you think about it, since he was young, you always thought, okay, England goalkeeper Joe Hart, you know.
Even that fumble, though, against
Yeah.
the U.S.
But he was young.
Yeah.
He was young.
Yeah.
You know, he learned.
But
You
at that
can't-
age, that
Yeah.
level, you can't make those kinds of.
Well, look at Mexico. They did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Osvaldo. He did the same thing in against Japan, I think it was.
Okay.
Where he did that drop ball and the guy's right behind him. But, you know, it's an experience. They have to live through things like, I understand it's a big deal because of when it happened.
Right.
But, you know, you can't, they're not perfect.
Right, yeah, we
You
know that.
And I still like Hart. I mean, Hart, great goalkeeper. You know, he's had a great career in England, so I like him. Wilshere, you know, he's to me he was above average, but I don't know. To me, I don't know how much of a loss he's going to be. It just depends on who we place in there.
Right.
You know, because it is an important spot.
Yeah,
to-
and it's
to
the
fill in.
experience, I think, that
Yeah.
he brings.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about whether or not we think some of these older guys, which in age-wise, they may not be considered old.
Exactly.
But as far as soccer goes and what they've done, obviously, starting with some of the big names, okay, Messi.
Lionel Messi, exactly.
Oh, I
You know,
mean-
he's 30 years old now.
Yeah.
This is his last World. Well, he may come back for the next World Cup, but he's not going to be the same.
No.
I mean, he's 30 right now, so I believe this is his true last World Cup. Because if he doesn't do anything on this World Cup, this could be it for him as far as World
Yeah.
Cup goes. You know,
And Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, he's
up
even
there too.
older.
Yeah.
He's even older. He's
Yeah.
as old as Iniesta from Spain.
Got our little.
You know, we have a little Iniesta here who's retiring from Barcelona this year. Another player from Spain who's 33 years old.
Yeah.
You know, this is his last World Cup. All these guys, you know, Ronaldo, he's got the Euro Cup and that's it. So,
What do you think of Falcao? He's kind of got something to prove.
you know,
Don't you
I think
think?
he does. He's got that chip on his shoulder
Yeah.
because, you know, last World Cup was supposed to be his World Cup. And of course, the injury right before the World Cup did not help, and he was out for the World Cup.
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of helped James Rodriguez step up, and he became the top scorer for the World Cup. So now he's thinking, okay, this is my chance. So he's gonna give it all. But of course, he's up there too, as far as age-wise.
Yeah.
You know, James is only 25. This
Yeah.
guy's already getting up there. So it's his last chance, just like all these other guys.
And then we got Suarez and
Suarez.
Cavani.
Right.
I mean,
Uruguay.
you know, I mean, Suarez, hopefully he won't bite somebody like he did in the last one.
Exactly. And we have two players that are, you know, key players in
Yes.
Uruguay.
Yes.
I mean, these are their top scorers in their club and for their national team.
And their group is pretty easy. Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Who could be the dark horse from that, who knows?
Right.
With Salah. But, you know, I mean, they're old.
Exactly.
You know, and we know they can still play, but can they handle the rigorous schedule that the World Cup puts out?
Yeah, especially nowadays that in their club they play so much. You have their league, you have the Champions League, you have all these other cups, national cups,
Right.
you know. So they're exhausted by the time the end of the season comes, and now you have the World Cup to get ready for, and you got less than a month.
Yeah.
You know, World Cup starts in June, so.
29 days. Let's see. We've got a couple of England players.
Right.
Cahill, Gary Cahill, and Ashley Young.
Ashley Young,
You know, I mean, as a Man U fan, obviously I want Ashley Young to play and perform. Whether he is playing much or not, I don't know. He can still play, as we know from Man U fans, and he can still get up and down. But
Right.
again, with games back to back to back
in the World Cup,
in the World Cup,
playing 90
traveling
minutes.
to Russia, is he going to be able to
Exactly.
perform? I don't know.
And, you know, Young, playing as a defender, you know, and the back at that age is not easy.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, you know, all players from all over the world that are young going against you. You are going to have to step up. So it's going to be tough for them. Both of them, actually. Cahill, same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know, because they're up there.
Yeah.
So these are the players that, you know, from England that we're concerned about.
What do you think of Rojo?
Rojo, Romero, you know. I remember when these guys were young, they were like the new players, upcoming players for Argentina.
Yeah.
They're up there too, you know. Players that have played all year too, you know, for Manu, Rojo,
Yeah.
Romero, backup keeper, even though,
Yeah.
you know, Champions, he's played a lot. It's tough to go back to your national team and, you know, perform as well as you do in your
Right.
league. So it's going to be tough. I mean, Rojo, what I saw this year, I mean, he got a lot of bench because of injuries and,
Yeah.
you know, trying to just get fit and get back into the game. So he's going to have to be really ready for this World Cup because if not, they're going to run all over him.
Yeah.
You know, and he has had a problem with attitude as far as getting
Yeah.
cards.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, he can be considered a dirty player at times.
Right, and sometimes even not just dirty, just because you're more physical
Yeah.
too. So he's just gonna have to watch it because you know FIFA's gonna be, you know, watching
Yeah,
this World
they're
Cup
gonna
all
be
very
watching.
closely when it comes to, you know, fouls and stuff.
What is your take on VAR? For those of you who don't know what that is, that's basically like in American football where they stop the game for
Right.
every single play to show it on video to make the right call.
You know, my opinion on that has always been I don't think we need it. I mean, I understand we need to move on. It's technology, it's modern, the game. I'd rather have that fourth ref next to the goal
Right.
than just technology being involved in the
Yeah.
place. Because, I mean, you see it on other sports. You get the video, you see the play, you're not watching the play the way the ref saw it.
Right.
You're seeing it frame by frame.
Yeah.
And even then, you still get the wrong call, or a
Yeah.
call that not everybody agrees with. So, is it a place for soccer? You know, soccer is a game where you can't stop, you gotta keep playing. It's not like football or basketball where you gotta stop every time, you know, the ball goes out of bounds or a play ends. No, it's a game that just keeps going, and if you're gonna interrupt it with, you know, with doing video, it's gonna ruin the game, I think.
Slows it down a
It's-
lot.
Yeah, and it's gonna become a boring game if you do that.
Yeah. Okay, so for our next show, we'll be talking about the World Cup, because that'll be the big thing. We'll see how our predictions for Champions League did.
And also, you're gonna be talking about the
We're gonna
women's
talk about the US
USAD,
women,
because you know what's coming next year for them?
the World Cup.
World Cup for them, so
Yeah,
if our men couldn't make it to this World Cup, the girls are gonna go and
they're gonna go.
not just
They're gonna
go there, but try to win it.
They're gonna go and they're gonna win it. That's my
Especially with
prediction
their
right off
talent.
the bat. They're
Especially
gonna win
with
it
the
now,
talent,
calling it
yes.
early.
So we hope you have enjoyed our show for today.
Come back and continue to view us. Hopefully, you know, you'll do it. We'll try to keep going every 2 weeks. And just Soccer Talk, EP, and then whatever episode. So this would be Soccer Talk EP 2.
Yeah, so we'll see you on our next show, episode 3.